Hello and good morning. Joe Justice here, coming to you live on December 7th, 2022. We are at Hump Day, and it is time to get excited, everybody, because just a few more days after today, and we will be ready for the weekend. I hope that you're having a wonderful holiday season. I hope that you've got your decorations out and you're ready to get your trees all set up and presents under the trees and all that kind of stuff. And I hope you're having a great time. All right, so I wanted to talk today. So here's the thing. I have been a little fascinated with this whole Liver King guy. I am not very familiar with this guy, but he's been all over the news in the fitness world and, the bodybuilding world, all of the stuff involving, the whole subculture of fitness, which is kind of its own bizarre kind of universe anyways. There's kind of three camps when it comes to fitness. There's like the health and wellness kind of world, and then there's like the fit and healthy, like body positive kind of world, and then there's like the bodybuilding world, which is like its own thing. Bodybuilding, especially when you look at things like Instagram. When I was a kid, it was magazines. It was like Flex magazine and Muscular Development, and that's where all the bodybuilding stuff came from. Now it looks like it's all moved online and it's all like Instagram and stuff like that. But there's just kind of weird, I don't know. I don't even know if it's weird. There's this kind of synthesis between like the lifestyle stuff and the bodybuilding stuff where it's like all extreme and wild and like anyways, it's kind of difficult to kind of explain, but that's where kind of the Liver King comes in. So I was wanting to kind of, if you're not familiar with the Liver King, I was wanting to kind of show you the list. So this is his Instagram page, and his whole thing is eating raw food and literally like eating raw meat. Like that's where he gets his name, is the Liver King, because his whole thing, it's about being primal and it's about having the 9 tenets of a primal lifestyle, which is eating raw meat and doing things outside and being cold and being hot and working your body and stuff. And this is kind of some of his videos.
What
here.
up, Primals? Liver King here. Yes, our early ancestors had motorcycles. They were called wild horses. Toot, toot, toot.
So that's like all of his kinds of videos.
What up, Primals? The Mongolian Liver King is here with my wild AK-47, getting ready to go on a hunt. Stay tuned. Liver King out.
So it's all about being primal and being. So here's a picture of him eating.
What up, Primals? Liver King here. We just took down a Mongolian
he's eating a raw liver here.
And where do you think we're gonna start?
I guess
of course,
makes
the
you
liver
healthy
first,
according to him. I don't know how to explain that. So this is kind of his whole thing. So, and then here, of course, you can see his body, basically a bodybuilding style body. I mean, nothing too outrageous, although, and I'll get to this here in a minute, but you'll see I think his abs look a little strange. I think his abs don't look normal. But the rest of him looks pretty standard bodybuilding type body, right? So, like I say, he's been kind of interesting. It was a subculture, part of the subculture on Instagram. It is what it is. Same thing, like I said, when I was a kid with like Flex and some of the other magazines and stuff. It is what it is. I mean, believe it or don't believe it or whatever. But here's the whole thing. He said for years and years and years that he wasn't on steroids. Of course he's on steroids. I mean, look, it's absurd to say that he's not on steroids. I mean, look at the guy. It's ridiculous. And one of the things that I think is kind of disappointing and unfortunate with that type of thing is the simple fact that like people do buy into this stuff. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. And I mean, I did when I was a kid. and you would see, the bodybuilding magazines, even Arnold Schwarzenegger and all them, they said that they weren't on steroids. So of course they weren't on steroids. They even said so, but it's just absurd. I wanted to show you, to kind of give you an idea, turn of the century. This is famous. You might have heard of him. His name is Eugene Sandow. You might have seen like his picture. He's the strong man with the curly mustache, kind of famous for. This is the turn of the century. He was a strong man and a circus performer. This is what you're looking at when you're looking at like peak human development. And you'll notice like even statues, from thousands of years ago, like David, for example, this is what they looked like. Like this is what these types of statues look like. This is kind of the pinnacle of male development. It might be a little bit different today because maybe the dieting is a little bit better, but I mean, the difference between this and something like Arnold Schwarzenegger it's not because of supplements and protein shakes. It's because of chemicals. It's because of modern chemicals. I mean, there's just no way around it. I also wanted to kind of show you, just to give you an idea too, not even that long ago, back in the 50s, most people probably don't know this, but actually Sean Connery started out as a bodybuilder. And this was him at his bodybuilding peak. Again, this is a natural body. This is what natural bodybuilding looked like. You can take a look at this is the Mr. Universe. This is the lineup for the Mr. Universe. And I mean, you look at the bodies, and these are not, I mean, again, this is like peak human development in the 50s and stuff. Again, it's nothing like modern bodybuilding at all. It's nothing even approaching that, and it's certainly nothing like the Liver King and what he looks like. So, I don't mind like steroids. It doesn't upset me if somebody wants to take steroids or anything like that. Like there's nothing wrong with that if you're honest about it. If you're going to lie about it and you're going to say, no, I'm completely natural, and you're not, then, you're just misleading people. So the Liver King thing is, I found this article here that's pretty good at explaining it. His real name is Brian Johnson. He makes, $100 million a year, an all natural raw meat diet, fitness regimen, and says he's not on steroids. Basically, you pay for his supplements and his lifestyle, and you can look just like him, which is completely absurd. And now all of that's come out. Of course, Joe Rogan talked about it, and that's kind of what exposed him. He sent some emails out, but people have been talking about it for years. Of course, he's not natural. And his whole thing was this kind of ancestral caveman lifestyle that included eating raw liver, bone marrow, and bull testicles. That kind of stuff. That's just for show. That's just to be sensational. He made tons of money selling his protein powders, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But he always said he was all natural. So it was finally admitted. He finally had to admit it. Okay, so this is the part he pushes this the 9 ancestral tenets, which is eat, sleep, move, shine, connect, cold, sun, fight, and bond. Now here's the whole thing. Honestly, I think those are probably pretty good health-related tenets. I mean, I do think that we live in the natural world, or in the modern world, we live too removed from nature. So I do think that like I do agree with a lot of. You do need to eat well. You do need to sleep. You do need to move and exercise. You do need to bond. You do need to fight, which simulating fighting is just fine with exercise or through boxing or judo, those types of things. I think all that stuff is great. But the idea that you're going to look like him by doing all this stuff, I just don't like it. I just think that it's misleading. And so here's his apology. He basically says that he's sorry, but he goes on to say that he didn't and I don't want to play the video because he uses a lot of curse words. But he says that he doesn't do other stuff, didn't get surgeries, didn't get the ab implants or plastic surgery or anything like that. I mentioned his earlier on. I mentioned his abs. I don't think they look natural at all. I think they look very strange. I don't know if I don't know. Here's the bottom line. Did he have some kind of implants or etching or something like that? I don't know. He says he didn't, but he also says he didn't do steroids when he I mean, there's no gray area. He tried to make it a gray area because he's trying to basically say that his steroid use was just to get him up to kind of a base level because he has low testosterone, which it's not true. So, and he was on other stuff, according to the emails that were leaked, like HGH and other stuff. So, did he take steroid or did he have plastic surgery? I don't know, but I wouldn't believe him when he says no. So, that's what you get. If you lie, people aren't going to believe you. And I don't believe him, and I wouldn't believe anything that he says. But I do think that type of, that some of his tenets are good, and exercise is good, and I don't believe eating raw livers is good. That seems like a really terrible idea. But I wouldn't believe anything the guy has to say. Now, did he work hard? Does he practice what he preaches? Looks like it. But yeah, steroids probably helped out along the way. I do think that we live in the modern world too conveniently, and I do think that there is a convenience crisis in modern civilization. I do think that you need to get outside. You do need to exercise. You do need to expose yourself to harsh weather. You do need to challenge yourself. You do need to fight. You do need to get good sleep. You do need to do all of those types of things and bond and know people and be social and all that kind of stuff. But it's just, I mean, certainly unfortunate when you see somebody like that and they've been lying for all this time and misleading people, and it just puts a black stain on everything that they promote. So that's my thoughts on the Liver King. It's just fascinating to see him. Like I say, I grew up with this stuff. I grew up with bodybuilders saying they were totally clean. I grew up with athletes saying they were totally clean. Had no idea. Grew up with actors saying they were totally clean. They're not. They're all on pharmaceuticals. You don't go from looking like a regular guy to looking like a superhero in 6 months. It's one thing to lose 20 pounds. It's a totally different thing to gain like 30 pounds of muscle in 6 months. It's just not possible without pharma. It's just not, period. Now, does that mean that they don't work? Does that mean that they're lazy, that they just, take drugs and then become? No, it doesn't mean that. They do work, and it is hard, and it takes dedication and everything. But just be honest. Just be honest about what it really took. That's my only point. So, all right. Thanks for listening today. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow. Let me know that you like it. Let me know what you think of the Liver King. Drop me a comment and let me know what you think of that type of lifestyle, that type of beings, that type of behavior. So you have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow.